What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com. We have a 1981 Honda CB900f Super Sport. This is different than the other one. The F is the Super Sport, the C is the Custom, and this has a let me show you. This has a chain drive. The Custom has a shaft drive and the 2-speed rear transmission, which is pretty cool. Let's take this thing for a spin. It's got some pretty interesting specs on it. Now, this is not my bike. Fires up very well. It's a very sporty stance. I feel like they cut the bars down. Those bars should be a little bit bigger. Guys, let's do some words of wisdom. 1 John 3:18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither with the tongue, but in deed and truth. Alright, that's a slightly... I don't like these handlebars at all. Alright, so they made this model from 1979 to 1983. This is their 901 cubic inch air-cooled super sport bike, and this really is the predecessor to the CBR. Is that oil light on? No, okay. I'm always impressed with Honda. I think these are fun bikes. What normally impresses me about these older bikes is actually how much power they have. Because I'm always thinking like, the old stuff ain't got no power. This thing's actually claiming around 95 horsepower. That's not that bad. And I don't know if back there, I know my tire was not spinning. I don't know if that was the clutch slipping. We will see, that was good. It grabbed really good right there. Yeah, I don't think the clutch is slipping. Although I think they said that it was like 95 horsepower at like 9,000 or 8,000 RPMs. I've not actually hit that point. It feels like the carbs need this bike needs tuned, cleaned up just a little bit. If this thing stops working on me, I'm gonna be super annoyed. No! No! What is it? Alright. Alright. Let's get it in neutral. There's neutral. Well, while we're here, there's the bike. That's what it looks like. And it stopped working on me. Very exciting. Let's get this thing fired up. Wow. That would make sense. The fuel is off. Thank you, guy, for bringing a bike to me and leaving the fuel off. Alright, so that should explain the spitting and stuttering earlier back there. So a bike like this, you could do I keep on popping it right into neutral. You could do classic, you could do like antique racing with this. I would want to change some stuff up, change the handlebars up a little bit. What else would I do? Ah, no, something in my eyeball. Alright, here we go. Alright, so let's see what this bike's got. It's alright. It is comfortable. I would say back in the days that this is like what the sport bike was. It was way faster than any. It's probably one of the fastest bikes out there back in its time. A 600 Super Sport would smite this bike, but when it comes to just comfort, my mustache is in my mouth. This is actually a really comfortable bike. These seats are literally this thick. There's this much padding in these seats. This is what a lot of people consider a standard bike. It actually feels very like Triumph T100, but with more power, because it's rocking that. It's rocking that that 4-cylinder. I have no idea what gear I'm in. All right, I guess I'm in first. The shift from first to neutral is like a full shift. I keep on popping it from first to neutral. It's hard to go right through neutral like you want to do. And I guess that's just something you get used to. The bike does run pretty good. All right. Kids are going back to school now, and it's ruining my life. There we go. I popped it in. So the guy who owns this bike is selling it. I am not selling it. But the guy who owns it's selling it. So if you guys are interested, let me know. Leave a comment below. It's funny because I was looking at it and he was like, this bike's in amazing shape, and I'm like, okay. And then I was like, what's with the front fender? Look at it. I was like, what's with the front fender? Because everything else has been painted. I'm like, what's with the front fender? He's like, oh, that's all original. I'm like, but nothing else. It looks bad. It looks bad. It's like, well, it's all original. But why'd you paint everything else out? Why'd you everything else get painted? Because it was rough looking. I'm like, the fender's rough looking. So either it's original or it's restored. This is somewhere in the middle. And apparently, it's got a sticker on there. Apparently, at some point in time, someone may have did like antique racing with it. This bike's got 36,000 miles. It does feel great. It does run very well. I have no idea what he's asking for it. I like this bike though. This is if you guys remember the bike that I almost got hit the truck with. The truck almost hit me on that bike, the CB900. That's the remake of this bike. Is that we're light on? Nah. The sun, these buttons were so dumb, these lights. Because the sun hits it and you're like, oh my gosh, all my lights are on, I'm turning everywhere and my neutral light and everything's on. This thing's got good power. I remember my brother had a CB750 growing up, and we thought it was just the fastest thing ever. Now they do have 4 carburetors to them, so there is, you gotta, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, they do. So you gotta get them synced and tuned every once in a while. You got to make sure every carburetor is, you know, doing exactly what the other carburetor's doing, which is not the cheapest thing. If you know how to do it, it's cool. You use like a vacuum gauge. I never figured out how to do it, but it's not the cheapest thing to get done. You look at, you know, maybe, now you got to find a guy who knows how to do it, but probably maybe a couple $100 to get it done. You might have to get it done every 4 or some years, depending on how often you run the bike. If you let it sit for a long time with bad gas, you might have to get it done more frequently. I will say this, the brake technology in the past couple years has gone a whole long way. I mean, these brakes are okay, but like, new brakes are just awesome. The stuff they're doing with braking has gotten 20 times better. That's why most of the time you jump on an old bike, you're like, man, these brakes are horrible. And this is no exception. So that wraps it up. We're not gonna do a walk around for this bike. I'll just do a little I'll do a little look around. But like I said, we are not selling this bike. Someone is selling this bike. If you're like, yo, I need that bike. If you need this bike, let me know. I'll put you in contact with the guy. Let me just look at it one more time. Classic Yosh pipe. I don't know if the engine was supposed to be black or not supposed to be black, but that's kind of coming off. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys later. I'm Sean from Srkcycles, and remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going. What's up guys, I'm Sean. Thanks for watching that great video, and as always, click down here to subscribe, and here's the next fun video for you guys to watch. We'll see you guys next time.
And that wasn't far enough away.
And I had no clue. I'm just gonna tell you guys to back off. Train your bikes, and listen, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going. We'll see you guys later.